Bobby here, check it out. Before we get started, if you can click and subscribe and smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. This right here is not a Washburn N4. It looks like one. It's a Chinese N4. And I got to tell you, before we get started, buyer beware. A lot of work that needs to get done on this. I think there's a guy with a YouTube channel called Fulton Street Guitars. And he did a couple of videos on some Chinese N4s that he bought. And they actually, from the way the videos he put together, really didn't have to do much work. I think maybe he put some different pickups. But the guitars seemed solid. And the guy was playing great and they sounded good. And I was like, well, let me go online and see about getting one. The main reason was, you know, I have a real Washburn N4. And it was signed by the lovely, the very wonderful, and the very talented Nuno Betancourt at a show. And this is just a great guitar. I really love the N4 models, or even the N6s. I did a video on one of those a while back, Tobacco Burst. But you never really can find a Washburn that has a maple fretboard. It's very, very rare, very, very hard to find. So I wanted to get one that had a maple fretboard. So I was like, let me get a Chinese one. And you know, I can paint it, and I got some pickups and a Floyd Rose Special, so I can kind of throw them on there. I didn't realize that this guitar has a lot of issues, but I think I can fix it. I got it through AliExpress, and once I got it, I realized this thing is horrible, so I complained and complained to him. Supposedly, he's going to send me one that's not black with a maple fretboard that would look more like a natural. So we'll see if he does. I hope he does. But in the meantime, I'm gonna kind of do this one, or do it over. I got a Floyd Rose Special, and I actually put it in its place. I took this one out, put it in there, just to make sure it fit in. And the two posts that are here, it went on there, but these are different posts. So I wanted to see if I could put my Floyd Rose posts in here, and the bushing or the coupling that's in there has a different thread. So I'm gonna have to take the bushings out, put those in. That's one minor thing. The main problem is that I have the action down so low that it's hitting the fretboard, that it's hitting the pickup. And it's really not playable because I got to straighten the neck. At least the frets seem okay. So this is so low over here where you can see the Floyd's in the body. And then this end is a little bit higher. Can you see that? How it should be straight, not like this. And what that tells me is that when I started looking around and doing measurements, over at the base, or if you want to call it the heel of the guitar, but it's a half moon because it's a Washburn, and I'll explain what's wrong with this. This end over here is a lot shorter than this end over here. So I'm going to have to take a router, take the neck off, go across and level it, and then put some shims in to bring up the neck a little so the Floyd won't be so close. Replacing pickups is pretty easy. As far as the neck goes, it's really, really big. I mean, I'm gonna have to take the neck down, but I got a sander that, you know, I can do a couple of swipes and bring this down and just kind of reshape it, which shouldn't be an issue. One of the things that's a little weird is when you look at this, it's completely off compared to this one. And I wasn't expecting it to be perfect. But the problem is, I don't know if you can see it over here. This slopes up like this as opposed to being just straight. So I'm gonna have to straighten this out and reshape it a bit. That won't be much problems because I've got the tools. Positive thing is, it's a maple fretboard. I've got an extra Floyd. I've got a Bill Lawrence pickup. I know how to put it all together. And the frets actually seem pretty good. They were solid on there. They went through each string. There was no buzzing. So that's good. A lot of work to be done. But when I do take it all apart, I'm actually going to repaint it. So leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Should I do it like a red? Should I maybe stain it like a Paddock would? Because this is actually a very heavy body, speaking of Paddock. This is made out of ash, or that's what they told me, ash, or unless it's some kind of compressed kind of wood, but I think it's ash because it's real heavy, almost as heavy as a Les Paul. And so I thought about stripping it down. Maybe do I make it red? Do I make it a paddock? Or if you've seen some other videos where I have a striped, kind of like a candy cane, white and green. But on my last guitar that I did it on, I made it like a sparkle. The white and green came from a Kramer I had a long, long time ago that I had painted when I was young. And I always liked that design, or I call it my patented design. Do I do it like that? Tell me what you think. And one of the other things, the way the neck is bolted to the body, on a regular N4, the first screw is at the very top. And over here, it's where maybe the second screw should go. They didn't do this right. So I'm going to take this off. I managed to get a printout of what an actual, I could just take one of these off the other guitars, the neck plate. And I've got aluminum, so I can cut that up to make a new neck plate and fill them up, put dowels in here and re-drill the holes and fill up the neck and re-drill the neck. Because just looking at it over here, I think if I want to keep this guitar, and since I'm going to do the work, might as well, I want to have the neck sitting in right and nice and tight, because with these guitars, even though it's only 5 bolts the way it's lined up, you want to really have it super tight, and the way it's cut, you want to have it perfect so there's no shifting around. And I think if I have these bolts moved over, it'll probably give it more stability down the road, because if I'm going to do all the work, I'll keep it. And it's fun. You got the tools. It's fun to do this kind of stuff. So I wanted to share 2 things. Tell me what I should do for a color, and I'm going to have a separate video when everything is done on how it looks and tell everyone what they think. But if you're going to buy a Chinese N4, I'd like to say just buyer beware, because even I know some of these places now do the Les Pauls or other guitars, and I think they're making them a little bit better than they were in the past, but a lot of times these guitars have problems that you're getting from China. There's no quality control. They're just slapping these things together. And for somebody who doesn't have the tools, that doesn't have a clue on how to put things together, you can feel like you're wasting money. But for me, I look at it like I got some parts and I got to rework them, and just, and I'll get myself a maple fretboard N4. And I got the decals too. So that's really about it. And also, one more thing, if you kind of notice, this is a little squared. It's not round on the edges like regular N4s, or even like, say, a Stratocaster would be. The N6s are kind of like this, kind of squared. So, I mean, I could take a router and go along the edges to smooth it out. So I'll decide what I want to do, but just wanted to show this to everybody. It looks cool, but it needs some work. So leave a comment below on what you think. If you've had any problems with N4s or anything you can suggest for me when I'm going to fix this thing up, tell me what I should do about the color. Should I, stain it, color it red, my patented green and white stripes? And thank you for watching. Any questions, email me, leave a comment below, and thank you. See you soon. Oh, stay tuned for the next video.